Hey everybody, I'm Cassandra. I work as a private math tutor and teacher in Vienna, Austria. And this video is for my cohort at Teach Now. I thought I would just use it to talk a little bit about how I feel about using technology in the classroom and how I'm already using it as much as I can and how I think that I could maybe do better. So I think that technology could be a really powerful tool for visualizing math. In my mind, I can see the equations and I can see the variables and I physically see them as shapes working together and all different things. And I think that's not true for my students and certainly not at first. So I think it would be really useful to be able to make visualizations that show, like in a moving way, how these different math concepts work. I also think it could be really useful to teach students to harness more powerful technologies to solve their problems. It's not currently a part of any curriculum that I know, but I think it's important. And they do it in a university, but I think it would be helpful for students in a middle school and high school setting. However, setting curriculum is way above my pay grade. So quickly, because there's a 5-minute cap on this video, I just want to run through the things that I use in my classes and some things that I've made to try to show ideas and explain things to students and talk a little bit about how each one achieved what I was hoping for and sometimes not. So the first thing that I want to talk about is OneNote. I use it for all of my math classes. Here is the OneNote for a college algebra class. You can see here is the content library. I have my lecture notes. Like I just provide them to them. I don't have it as a PowerPoint. I just have this. Because inside here, you can add these interactive graphics and you can add YouTube videos and students can click on them and move them around and see how they work. And also, because I have a tablet that I write on, like I write on the screen. Like here, I add things and then it synchronizes almost immediately and students can see them. So if a student isn't present and they still want to participate, or if they're way in the back and they can't see the screen very well, they can just open this up in any browser, or if they've downloaded the software to their computer, and they can see it there. And then they all have their individual sections. I think it works really well. I have one of these for every class that I work with. The other thing that I really quite like is called GeoGebra. And here is my personal GeoGebra page. This is really only for math, but it's to create some pretty interesting, can be interactive, cannot be, graphics for math. So you can search anybody else's and see what they've made and then use it. Here's one that I made. So you can see it's running. It's running an animation. It's just really slow. But students can also pause it. They can physically come to the page, pause it, read these instructions, click the checkboxes, make lines appear, disappear, make the shape bigger, smaller. This was a specific investigation on the relationship between the number of diagonals and the number of sides. Another thing I like to use in the classroom is called quizzes. Again, it's searchable. You can use other people's or you can create your own. You can take some questions from theirs and leave behind others. For example, here's a thing, here's a question, and then it's multiple choice. Determine which I would fail to reject. Now I have to do this off the top of my head. I would not reject any of these. So then it has this fun interactive thing. A meme is going to show up. It's pretty cool. There's a leaderboard that shows on the front screen. So I think it's nice. Another thing that I often do for review is this Jeopardy Labs. It's also searchable. You don't have to create all of your own, but here's one that I created. I do find that students actually use this later. You can provide them with a link and they can play it on their own. I play it with them in class and then often they'll use it to review for an exam that's coming up the next week. So say there's like 5 teams, you start, name the teams however you like, and it's like Jeopardy from the old school days when you're a kid. That depends on how old you are and if you're from the US. But anyway, I watched Jeopardy as a kid and I thought it was great. So you click on it, question appears, give however much time you want, then show the answer. You can give out points however you like. I think it's a pretty cool, and this is not only for math, like you could use this Jeopardy for pretty much anything, as well as the quizzes. So those are pretty much the only things that I use inside the classroom. The thing that I use as an explanatory is these YouTube videos that I've tried to create. So the first one that I tried to create, I'll put a link in the corner, is this factorizing quadratics. It doesn't have any sound. I thought it would be useful for students to like physically see where these numbers are coming from. I also thought it would be self-explanatory what was happening. However, I have been corrected. So I need to add narration to this video, but I don't really know how to do that. I have not done a video this way and narrated it. So that's definitely a thing that I will learn how to do over this course. And hopefully I'll be able to improve this video for my students. Another video, oh, that was created with PowerPoint, by the way, because you can like use the sliding things. But it was a huge pain. I'm not super pleased with it, and I would not use PowerPoint again. Another thing I tried was this Video Scribe. It's one of those whiteboard writing tools. I'll run it with sound at first, but I'm gonna turn the volume down. So it's narrated.
This is Wendy. Today she woke up late for school.
And now no more sound. And I think it's fun because I don't know, I really like these whiteboard videos. And it's a little more interactive. You can show them, like in this one it's unit conversion. You're like literally converting one type of measurement into a second type. So I think like this graphic, for example, is useful. It should help the students understand that they're transforming one object into a new object. We'll see how useful it is. But it didn't do all the things that I wanted. It wasn't perfect. So another thing that I tried was this Wix editor. It's free online. I was able to create this, which is most similar to like the Adobe Flash that I learned as a kid and have now forgotten and refused to afford to pay for, but it's way, way, way too fast. Obviously, I need to slow this down and I need to add narration, which as I mentioned before, I don't know how to do. I will learn how to do it over this course. And then the last thing that I make, this is the most common thing that I have. It's just a screen capture, which is the same thing that I'm doing right now. So it's me talking. If I were to unmute this, it'd be either way, you just have to pick. So and it's me explaining like, okay, here's an example problem. How would you solve it? Here's the steps. Here's what you would do. And then here is my instructions, like how to use technology to create a visualization for their problem and make a really nice report, and how it would look in the end if, I don't know why that calculator is showing, but how it could look in a report that they had. So this is the most common thing that I make, just these screen captures, but I would like to be able to make better animations and also narrate the animations. I just have not yet figured out how that should work. So, thanks for watching my video. I hope to get some more ideas on how I can make these things better and maybe which technologies are really great to use in the classroom that I haven't been using yet because I don't know that they exist. See you.